The forest of Valoranine was never quiet. Every tree hummed, every shadow moved, and every creature hunted anything smaller than itself. But on this strange morning, something unusual happened. The forest froze. The wind stopped. Even the razor wing. Birds hid inside their nests, because a tiny human girl was walking alone through the wild jungle. Her name was Mira, a 10-year-old child with messy brown hair, big curious eyes, and a small backpack almost as large as her own body. She looked harmless, fragile, even lost. But she walked with calm steps, as if the forest belonged to her. Behind her came the real reason everything fled. A giant, a metal-armored guardian, standing almost 9 feet tall, shaped like a human soldier, but built with the power of a war machine. His name was Koran. Heavy footsteps shook the ground under him, and the green glow in his helmet scanned every danger around. Mira, but he always stayed 2 steps behind her, never in front, because she was not just a girl, she was his commander. Mira paused near a thick purple leaf, brushing it gently. "Koran," she said softly, "something is watching us." Her voice was small, but Koran reacted instantly. His metal plates shifted, and his armor lit up. "Confirmed. Multiple heat signatures. Distance, 30 meters. His deep mechanical voice echoed in the trees. Mira didn't look scared. Instead, she smiled a little. "Good, that means we are close." "Close to what?" Even Koran didn't. No, her parents, great human scientists, had died long ago, leaving Mira under Koran's protection. But they had also left her maps, codes, and strange clues that only she could understand. She believed they were searching for something important. Something hidden on Valoranine, and she wanted to find it. Koran suddenly stepped forward, blocking her as a branch snapped nearby. "Mira, stay behind me." But she simply walked around him. "Koran, I told you. If something attacks, you protect. But if something watches, I want to learn why." This was the strange thing about the girl. She wasn't afraid of the unknown. Not aliens, not monsters, not shadows. She wanted to understand everything. They reached the remains of an old human supply station. Metal crates were torn open. Deep claw marks covered the walls. Something powerful had destroyed this place, and not long ago. Koran scanned the area. "These marks are new, unknown species." Mira knelt and touched the ground, noticing a glowing symbol burned into the dirt. "This wasn't here last time," she whispered. "Someone left it." Almost like a message. Suddenly, the symbol pulsed with blue light. Koran pulled Mira away and raised his arm cannon. Warning. Energy surge detected. But Mira stared at the symbol with fascination. "No, Koran, it's calling." Before Koran could respond, the forest around them shifted. The air grew colder. Mira looked up, her breath unsteady, not from fear, but from excitement. Then she heard it. A whisper, soft, long, alien, calling her name. "Mira." Koran reacted first. Unknown voice. Source approaching. From the shadow of the trees, a creature stepped out. Thin, green-skinned, with long arms and sharp black eyes. A scout of the Syriac species, a species known for silent assassins. The alien made a clicking sound. Smelling the air on Mira, Koran aimed his cannon. "Do not approach the child." The alien hissed, but Mira raised her hand. "Koran." "Wait." The alien tilted its head at her. It seemed confused. Almost curious, Mira stepped forward slowly. "Why are you watching us?" The alien didn't speak at first. Then, with broken English, it whispered, "You, awake, the core." Mira froze. "The core? You know about it?" Koran moved between them, voice firm. "Mira, retreat immediately." But the alien stepped closer, ignoring the warning. "You are the key. The human key." Before Mira could ask anything else, another alien leaped out of the trees. Roaring, Corinne grabbed Mira and jumped back as the first alien hissed a warning. More shadows moved. More Sirek scouts crept out, surrounding them from every side. The Kozia forest came alive again, not with peace, but with danger. Mira's heart raced. Corinne's weapons charged. The girl whispered, "Corinne, they know something. We cannot run." Not yet. But the Sirek had no intention of talking anymore. Their blades rose, their eyes locked on Mira. Corinne stepped forward, shields glowing bright. The attack was seconds away. The alien circle tightened around Mira and Corinne, their thin bodies moving. Like shadows, blades glinting with green poison. The forest held its breath again. Even the insects stopped buzzing. Something was coming fast, dangerous, unstoppable. Corinne lifted Mira with one arm and placed her gently behind him. His armor shifted, locking into battle mode. The glowing lines across his chest turned bright red. "Stay close to me," he warned. Mira felt fear this time, not for herself, but for Corinne. The Sirek were known for their speed. They hunted in silence. They attacked without warning. And the way they stared at her made her heart pound. The first alien struck. It jumped with surprising force, claws extended. Corinne reacted before Mira even blinked. His arm shot forward, catching the creature mid-air and slamming it into a tree. The impact cracked the bark. The alien dropped limp to the ground, but the others didn't pause. Two Sirek assassins ran in from opposite sides. One targeted Mira directly. Corinne moved like a shield. His large metal hand blocked the alien's blade inches from Mira's face. He spun, delivering a heavy punch that sent the creature crashing into a rock. Still, more came. Mira backed up until her foot hit something metallic. She looked down. It was a half-buried crate from the old human station. Its surface flickered with faint lights. Something inside was active. "Corinne, look!" she shouted. But Corinne had no time. 4 aliens attacked him at once. His armor sparked as claws scraped across his plates. He swung his arm, smashing one alien aside, but another climbed onto his back, stabbing at his joints. Mira's small hands shook. She couldn't fight. She had no weapon, but she had something else. Her mind. She ripped open the crate. Inside was a small triangular device with a glowing white core. Old human tech. She remembered seeing something similar in her parents' notes. They called it a pulse key, a tool for activating hidden systems. Mira lifted it carefully. If she was wrong, it would explode. If she was right, it might save them. She pressed the button. A sharp blue pulse exploded outward, shaking the ground. Corinne's sensors beeped loudly. The aliens screamed, covering their eyes as the light cut through the forest like lightning. Corinne used the moment to throw the aliens off him and grab Mira. "What did you activate?" he demanded. Asterisk. I think it's a signal." She answered, her hands trembling. "I didn't know it would be so strong." The Sirek reaped, furious now. They moved with faster steps, ignoring the pain. One pointed at Mira and hissed something. In their language, Corinne translated instantly. They say, "Capture the girl. The core must not awaken." Mira swallowed. She didn't understand everything, but she knew enough. They were not attacking randomly. They were after her. "Corinne, we have to run." He didn't argue this time. He lifted her into his arm and dashed toward the old mining tunnels ahead. His heavy feet crushed bushes and stones, but the Sirek chased without slowing, leaping from tree to tree like predators hunting a single target. The tunnel entrance looked like a giant, open mouth in the mountainside. Dark, cold, silent. Corinne jumped inside. The moment they entered, the darkness swallowed them whole. Only Corinne's helmet light illuminated the narrow passage. Mira breathed hard. "Do you think we lost them?" Before Corinne could answer, a loud hit smashed the tunnel wall. Rocks fell. Dust clouded the air. The Sirek had followed them inside. "Corinne, grabbed Mira's hand. This way. He led her deeper until the tunnel widened into an old human drilling chamber. Rusted machines lay scattered. Broken screens flickered with ghost blue light. There was a massive console covered in dust. Mira ran to it. Her fingers traced strange symbols on the screen, symbols she had seen in her parents' journals. Corin. This system connects to something under the mountain, she whispered. I think it's... A sudden voice crackled from the old speakers. Not human. Not friendly. You should not have awakened the signal. Child. Mira froze. Who's speaking? She whispered. The voice replied with cold calm. The one who rules this planet now. Corin aimed his arm cannon at the darkness. Identify yourself. But the voice didn't fear him. It only laughed softly. Bring me the girl. She holds the key to the star core. Mira trembled. Corin stepped closer, protective, but the voice spoke again, clearer, colder. Prepare yourselves. My soldiers are almost there. As if on command, shadows crawled into the chamber. Dozens of Sirek shapes filled the tunnel entrance. Mira's chest tightened. Corin's armor brightened. The aliens began their charge, and the true fight was just beginning. The drilling chamber shook as the Sirek assassins rushed in. Their sharpened claws scraped the metal floor, their long legs moving in fast, insect-like motions. Mira clung to Corin's arm as the giant warrior shielded her with his broad frame. Multiple hostiles approaching, Corin warned. We must defend this area. Mira's heart pounded, but something drew her attention away from the danger. The old console behind her flickered again. Strange symbols pulsed across the dusty screen in soft white light. It felt like the machine was waking up. The aliens hissed and charged. Corin fired a blast from his arm cannon, sending 2 Sirek flying backward into the tunnel walls. Sparks shot into the air. The chamber echoed with their screams, but more aliens came. They were endless, crawling over each other, desperate to reach Mira. Corin swung his metal arm, knocking 3 of them away from her, but he couldn't protect her forever. There were too many, Corin, Mira said, voice shaking but determined. I think this console is connected to something important, something my parents were searching for. He didn't look at her, still fighting, but he answered, do not interact with unknown systems during combat. But it's responding to me, she whispered. And she was right. The symbols glowed brighter when she touched the screen. Suddenly, the loudspeaker crackled again, filling the chamber with the cold, calm voice from earlier. Double quotes. Yes, touch it. Child, your blood activates what your parents hid from us. Mira froze. Corin turned sharply toward the speaker. Identify yourself immediately, he demanded. The voice laughed, slow and confident. I am Zareth, High Commander of the Sirek Dominion. And that child you protect, she belongs to me. Mira stepped back, her throat tight. I don't belong to anyone. Oh, but you do, Zareth answered. Your mother left you with a gift. A connection to the ancient human star core. Only those with her bloodline can unlock it. Mira stared at her hand, the one touching the glowing console. My mother, she knew about this? Oh yes, she died trying to keep it from me. And now her daughter continues the same foolish path. Corin fired a burst at incoming Sirek and shouted, do not listen to him. Step away from the console. But, Zareth continued, his voice echoing like a serpent in the dark, the core sleeps beneath this mountain. You activated the signal when you touched the pulse key. Now the core awakens. And soon, the power of an entire star will be mine. Mira's hands trembled. What do you want it for? For war, Zareth said simply. The humans spread across the stars too quickly. With the core, I will destroy every colony you build. Corin growled, a rare sound for a machine. I will not allow harm to the child or the human race. You? Zareth laughed again. You are broken technology. The girl is the true danger. and she will open the core for me. Mira's stomach twisted. She never wanted to be special. She just wanted answers. She wanted to know why her parents died and why Koran always treated her like the most important being in the universe. Now, she understood. Koran, she whispered, he is after me. Not the machine. He turned slightly toward her, still fighting. Yes, you must remain safe. Your life is priority one. The Sirak moved again, faster now, as if encouraged by their leader's voice. Koran blasted them, but a large alien jumped onto his back, stabbing at his armor joints. Sparks flew. Koran! Mira cried. He slammed his back against the wall, crushing the creature. But more crawled toward Mira. Their long fingers reached for her. Clicking excitedly, Zareth's voice whispered, "Bring the girl to me." Mira stepped away from the console just as one alien lunged. Koran threw himself between them. His heavy armor took the impact. The alien's blade scraped across his chestplate. "Myra, move!" he commanded. She ran deeper into the chamber, looking for another exit. But the room was sealed. Only the tunnel they came from was open and filled with Sirak. No way out. She whispered. Then she noticed a crack in the floor. A small vent, not big enough for Koran, but just big enough for a child. "Myra," Koran shouted, "identify a safe zone. I found something, maybe a passage." She yelled back. Suddenly another alien leaped at her. She ducked and rolled aside. The alien's blade hit the metal floor where she stood seconds before. Koran smashed the alien away but took another hit to his shoulder. His armor sparked violently. Mira hurried to the vent and pulled its cover off. "Koran, this way!" But before he could reach her, every light in the chamber flickered. The console lit up with a bright golden glow. The ground vibrad. And Zareth's voice returned, sounding pleased. "Ah, the star core has awakened at last." Mira stared in shock as light burst from the floor cracks. Something ancient and powerful was rising beneath them. And the Sirak were not the only ones coming for it. The golden light bursting from the cracks in the bunker floor grew brighter, almost blinding. Dust floated upward instead of falling, as if gravity itself had changed. Mira shielded her eyes with her hands, but she couldn't look away. Something ancient, something alive, was waking beneath them. Koran stepped in front of her, scanning the chamber. The star core energy level is rising. This area is no longer stable. Before Mira could speak, a deep rumble shook the entire bunker. The old machines rattled. The ground cracked wider. Several Sirak warriors stumbled, hissing in confusion. Then, boom, a massive shockwave burst from the center of the floor, throwing everyone backward. Mira flew through the air, but Koran caught her mid-fall, shielding her from debris. "Koran, are you okay?" "Structural damage. Moderate," he answered. "Battle capability remains available." When the smoke cleared, the aliens regrouped, but something about them was different now. Their movements were more desperate, more fearful. One of the Sirak pointed at the glowing cracks and screeched in their language. Koran translated instantly. "They fear the core. They were told it was dangerous." Mira's heart pounded. If even the Sirak feared it, what exactly had she awakened? Before she could think further, 3 aliens rushed Koran at once. They climbed onto his back, stabbing and scraping at the joints of his armor. Sparks flew. Mira screamed as she saw one blade pierce through a metal plate. "Koran!" Koran roared, a metallic, angry sound, and slammed his back into the wall. 2 aliens fell off, but the third held on, its claws digging deeper. Mira grabbed a broken pipe from the ground and swung it with all her small strength. The alien hissed in surprise as the pipe struck its arm. Koran seized the moment, reached back, and ripped the creature away. More Sirak poured in, surrounding them. "Koran, they won't stop," Mira whispered. "They cannot reach you." Koran replied, placing himself fully between her and the swarm. I will prevent it. Another explosion shook the chamber, but this one didn't come from the core. It came from the tunnel. A giant creature crawled through the opening. A Cyric war beast. Thick muscles, armored scales, glowing red veins, and jaws that could crush. Metal. Its roar shook the entire chamber. Mira froze in fear. Corrin raised his cannon. The aliens backed away. Making space for the monster, Zareth's voice came again. Through the crackling speakers, the child refuses to surrender. Very well. Bring me her broken guardian instead. The war beast charged. Korrn pushed Mira aside at the last possible second. The creature slammed into him with brutal force, knocking him across the room. His metal body crashed into the console, breaking screens and tearing wires. Corrin! Mira cried. He tried to rise, but sparks burst from his damaged leg. The beast roared and lunged again. Corrin grabbed its jaws, forcing them open, metal grinding against bone. The creature thrashed wildly, trying to snap him in half. Mira looked around for something, anything she could use. Her eyes fell on the fallen alien weapons. She picked up one, a thin curved blade, still glowing with energy. She held it tight. She wasn't strong, she wasn't a warrior, but she wasn't helpless either. Corrin! Duck! Corrin reacted instantly, lowering his head. Mira ran toward the war beast with all her might and slashed the glowing blade across its leg. The beast roared in pain and kicked her away, but Corrin used the moment to slam his fist into its skull. The creature fell to the floor, stunned. But only for a second. It rose again, angrier than before. Mira stumbled back, breathing hard. She looked at Corrin. His armor was cracked, his movements slower. Corrin, we can't win like this, she whispered. I will fight until function loss. He answered, no, we need something stronger. The light beneath the floor pulsed. Again, brighter than ever. As if calling to her. Mira ran to the center of the chamber, where the cracks glowed like fire. She knelt and placed her hand over the light. It felt warm. Alive. The core responded instantly, golden energy swirling around her fingers. Corrin shouted, Mira, get away from the core. But she couldn't. She felt something pulling her. Like the core recognized her, like it knew her. Memories flashed in her mind, her mother's face, her father's voice, Corrin carrying her as a baby. Her mother's voice whispered, if you stand before the core one day, Mira, trust your heart. Tears filled Mira's eyes. The war beast charged again. The alien screamed. Corrin tried to rise but couldn't. Mira pressed both hands onto the core crack. A shockwave of pure golden light erupted outward. Every alien froze. The war beast collapsed. Corrin felt his systems restore for a moment, and Mira. She felt her whole body fill with power she didn't understand. The chamber fell silent, and then the ceiling above them began to split open. Because the core was rising, the ceiling above them cracked open with a deep, thunderous groan. Dust rained down in slow clouds. The golden light from the star core flooded the bunker, turning every shadow into a long, trembling shape. Mira stood at the center of the chamber, her hands still touching the glowing cracks. She looked small, but the power around her was enormous. Corrin forced himself to stand, sparks flying from his damaged leg. His voice shook for the first time. Mira, step away from the core. Your body cannot withstand this energy. But Mira couldn't move. Not because she didn't want to, because she felt anchored. The core wasn't hurting her. It was answering her. Like it recognized her touch, her heartbeat, her courage. Above them, the golden cracks widened. A massive crystal, the heart of the star core, began rising from beneath the floor. It floated in midair, humming with ancient energy. Lines of light wrapped around Mira like soft ribbons. She gasped. I see something, Corrin. What do you see? he asked, stepping toward her but limping heavily. Mayra's voice grew soft, almost distant. Memories, not mine, my mother's. Her breathing slowed. Light danced in her eyes. She was here. Mira whispered. She touched the core too. She sealed it. She knew I would come one day. Corin's damaged sensors flickered. He couldn't understand everything she was experiencing, but he knew one thing. Mira was in danger. Not from the core, but from the aliens who were beginning to rise again. The Sirak warriors staggered to their feet, bodies shaking. The shockwave had stunned them, but not for long. Their leader's voice echoed through the bunker speakers. Colder than before. Do not let the child bond with the core. Capture her now. Mira's eyes widened. They're coming again. Corin positioned himself between her and the aliens, though he was barely standing. They will not reach you, he said firmly. But the Sirak war beast moved again, slower, but still. Alive. Its red veins glowed brighter as it forced itself up, growling deep and furious. Corin swung his cannon at it, but the weapon sputtered. Warning, he said calmly. Energy cell depleted. Mira felt panic rise in her chest. Corin, you can't fight them alone anymore. I must, he answered, stepping forward. The war beast roared and lunged. Corin grabbed its jaws again, but this time the monster was stronger. It slammed him into the wall, cracking his chest plate. Metal twisted. Circuits broke. Corin! Mira screamed, her voice echoing across the chamber. The giant guardian fell to one knee, the war beast pushing him down. His armor bent under the pressure. Mira felt something break inside her. A fear she never knew before. A fear of losing the only protector, the only friend she had left. Tears streamed down her cheeks. No. Please, don't hurt him. Her hands pressed harder against the core's energy. The crystal pulsed, once, twice, then exploded in a brilliant wave of golden light. The force was so strong that every alien was thrown off their feet. The war beast flew across the chamber and slammed into the far wall. Even Corin stumbled backward. Mira floated inches above the ground, golden light pouring from her hands and eyes. Her hair lifted as if carried by invisible wind. She looked like a child, and a force of nature. Corin scanned her in disbelief. Mira, your energy levels are rising beyond safe limits. You must release the core. I can't, she whispered. It chose me. The energy grew stronger, filling the whole chamber. The walls vibrated. The ceiling shook. The air buzzed like electricity. The Sirak leader's voice returned, angrier, more desperate. Stop her. If she bonds with the core, the entire planet will fall out of our control. The aliens charged again, but the core's power surrounded Mira like a shield. Every Sirak who touched the glowing field was thrown back violently. Corin stepped toward her slowly. Mira, listen to me. You must control the core, not let it control you. How? She cried. I don't know what to do. Your mother left you the guidance, Corin said. The core responds to your emotions. Calm your mind. Focus your heart. Mira closed her eyes. She thought of her mother's smile, her father's laugh, the way Corin always protected her, the people on the frontier colonies who needed help, the fear she felt, the courage she still had. The golden light slowly softened. Corin's sensors stabilized. The war beast stopped moving. Mira lowered gently to the ground, the core humming beside her. But before she could rest, a shadow stepped out from the broken tunnel, tall, armored, walking with purpose. This time, it wasn't a Sirak warrior. It was their leader himself. Zareth had come in person, his cold eyes locked onto Mira. And he whispered. Zareth stepped into the chamber like a shadow given shape. His tall frame was covered in dark armor made from living alien metal, pulsing with purple veins. Two glowing blades hung from his arms, flowing like liquid fire. Behind him, the remaining Sirak soldiers gathered in silence, afraid yet obedient. Mira felt her breathing freeze. This was the one from the voice, the leader, the mind behind every attack. Zareth's cold eyes rested on her glowing hands. So, the little human truly carries her mother's gift, he said slowly. The core answers her. Good. It means she can open it for me. Koran stepped in front of Myra instantly. Despite his broken armor and flickering lights, you will not approach the child. Zareth tilted his head. Broken machine, you can barely stand. Are you still pretending you can protect her? I do not pretend, Koran replied. I protect. The alien leader gave a small smile, but there was no kindness in it. Then, die for her. He lunged. Korn met him halfway, metal crashing against alien armor. Their impact shook the chamber. Sparks flew as Zareth's glowing blade scraped across Koran's shoulder, cutting through damaged plates. Koran countered with a heavy punch, but Zareth slipped to the side with terrifying speed. Mira cried out, Koran! Stay back! He ordered, blocking another strike. But Zareth was stronger than the other Sirik. Faster, smarter, crueler. He danced around Koran's attacks, cutting small lines across the Guardian's armor. Every hit made Koran slower. Every spark meant another system failing. You are outdated human scrap, Zareth hissed. Your time is over. Hers begins with me. No. Mira screamed. She reached for the core's energy again, but the golden light flickered uncertainly. She was exhausted. Her body shook, her vision blurred. She couldn't control the core like before. Koran took a blade through his side. The strike pierced deep, almost through him. Sparks burst from the wound. Koran! Mira's voice cracked. Koran dropped to one knee, but still shielded her with his body. Damage. Severe, he reported quietly, but still functional. Zareth raised both glowing blades for the kill. Koran, move! Mira shouted, but Koran did something different. He looked back at her. In his damaged voice. Soft but steady, he said. Mira. Humans do not run from darkness. Humans fight. Zareth lunged, and Koran grabbed both his blades with his bare hands. The alien leader snarled as sparks exploded between them. Koran's hands burned, metal melting, systems screaming. But he held on. You will not harm her, Koran growled. Zareth slammed a knee into Koran's chest, cracking his core plate. You cannot stop me. Koran pushed back with all the power he had left, but his strength was fading. Mira felt helpless. Her heart pounded. Tears blurred her vision. She was only a child, and yet everything depended on her. Her mother's voice echoed in her memory. Trust your heart, Mira. Mira pressed her hands together, took a deep breath, and reached out to the core once more, not with fear, but with absolute determination. The core answered. A soft golden aura wrapped around her fingers. She focused it, sent it toward Koran. Koran's broken armor glowed. His systems surged. His strength returned for a moment, a single powerful moment. He roared like a titan and shoved Zareth backward, breaking free from the blades. The alien leader stumbled, surprised by the sudden burst of power. Mira stepped forward, her small frame glowing like a star. Koran, let's finish this, together. The core pulsed behind her in agreement. Zareth hissed. Impossible. A child cannot wield a star. But Mira raised her glowing hands. I'm not fighting alone. Golden energy shot from her palms, arcing into Koran. His entire body lit up. His armor reshaped itself with core energy, forming shining plates of golden light. Koran stood tall, taller than ever, a guardian. Reborn. He stepped forward. This is the strength of humans. The strength you underestimated. Zareth charged again, furious, but this time Koran moved faster, stronger. He blocked the alien's strike with a glowing arm, then smashed him backward with a single powerful punch. Zareth flew across the chamber, hitting the wall hard. He rose slowly, trembling with rage. "This is not over," he hissed. "The core will tear this planet apart. The child cannot control it forever." Mira looked at the pulsing core. He was right. The energy was unstable. If she didn't control it soon, the entire bunker, maybe the entire planet, would explode. Corinne turned to her. "Mira, the core is reaching overload. You must stabilize it. Only you can." Mira stepped toward the rising golden crystal, fear and courage mixing inside her. "Okay," she whispered. "I'll try." But her hands shook. The core shook too. Zareth smiled slowly, because he knew the truth. If Mira failed, everything would burn. Golden star core floated above the broken floor like a rising sun, shaking the entire bunker with deep, thunderous pulses. Each beat grew stronger, brighter, wilder, almost alive. Mira felt the vibrations travel through her bones. Her small hands glowed, but the light flickered each time doubt entered her heart. Behind her, Koran stood tall, his damaged armor strengthened by the core's golden energy. Even broken, even bleeding sparks, he looked like an unbreakable titan. Across from them, Zareth rose from the ground, fury twisting his alien face. "You cannot control the core, child," he spat. "It was never meant for humans. It will consume you." Mira clenched her fists. "Maybe not alone," she turned to Corinne. "But humans don't stand alone." Corinne nodded once, slow, firm, proud. "I am with you, Mira." Zareth hissed. "Then you shall both fall." He charged with incredible speed, his twin blades blazing with purple fire. But Corin met him halfway, colliding with the alien leader in a burst of sparks and golden light. The chamber shook from the impact. Corinne forced Zareth back, but the alien roared and slashed again, cutting deep into Corinne's golden armor. Corinne stumbled. His lights dimmed. Myra's fear spiked. If Corin fell now, she would be alone, and the core, wild and unstable, would destroy everything. "Corin!" she cried. His voice sparked but stayed steady. "Focus on the core. I will hold him." Zareth laughed darkly. "You will hold nothing. You are dying." But Corin didn't answer him. He didn't waste words. He simply kept fighting. Myra turned back to the core. Her small hands trembled as she stepped closer. The crystal hummed in response, as if recognizing her again. But she could feel its power slipping out of control, like a storm too big for her mind to hold. "How do I stabilize it?" she whispered. And then she remembered her mother's voice, soft and warm in her memory. The core responds to the heart, not the mind. Her heart. Her love, her courage. She placed both hands on the glowing surface. "Please," she whispered, tears filling her eyes. "I don't want to lose anyone. Not again. Not Corinne. Not this world. I want to protect people, just like my parents did." The core stilled, just for a moment. Then light flowed out gently, wrapping around her small fingers like warm sunlight. Behind her, Zareth pushed Corin to the ground and raised both blades for the final strike. Mira turned. "Stop!" Her voice rang like thunder. A wave of golden light blasted outward from the core, hitting Zareth and throwing him across the chamber. The alien crashed into the far wall, armor cracking. Corin staggered to his knee. "Mira, your energy output. Remarkable." Mira's entire body glowed brightly now. But this time it wasn't wild. It was focused. Calm. Controlled. She lifted one hand toward Zareth. "You hurt my people. You attacked my home. You tried to take everything from me." Her small voice held power, real power. Zareth struggled to rise, fury in his eyes. "You are just a child." Mira shook her head softly. "No, I am human." The core responded with a bright pulse. Corin stood behind her, placing one massive hand gently on her shoulder. "And humans," he said, "are strongest together." Mira raised her hands, and the core's golden energy surged toward Zareth, forming a massive wave. The alien leader screamed as the light wrapped around him, lifting him from the ground. This is not possible. He roared, but humans had done impossible things before. With one final burst of golden light, Mira pushed the wave forward. Zareth's scream echoed through the bunker. Then he vanished in a flash of light. Silence followed. The remaining Sirak soldiers, now leaderless and terrified, fled into the tunnels. The war beast collapsed, lifeless. The bunker grew calm, the golden glow soft and warm. Mira collapsed to her knees, exhausted. Koren rushed to her, falling beside her on one knee. "Are you harmed?" he asked urgently. She shook her head weakly. "Just tired, Koren." "Did we do it?" Koren looked at the stabilizing core, then at the empty space where Zareth had stood. "Yes," he said softly. "You saved the planet." Mira leaned against him, small and tired. "We saved it." Outside the bunker, the clouds parted. For the first time in centuries, sunlight touched the dead frontier valley. The galaxy would soon hear the message transmitted by the core. A small human child protected a world. Do not underestimate humans. Koren lifted Mira in his arms. "Come. Mira, a colony awaits rebuilding, and you are its new hope." She smiled sleepily. "Humans are strong together." And the core glowed gently in agreement.